So you're showing off Kingsmouth here at GDC. What kind of place is it?
It's small town USA. It's the kind of town players will recognize from, for example, Stephen King novels or John Carpenter movies. It's a quiet little town, at least on the surface, that's suddenly hit by this horrible thing. Zombie infection is a place where everybody sort of is turned into this horrible undead creatures. There are survivors, and as you sort of play and meet these characters, you'll learn more and more about what's actually happened to Kingsmouth. And it's not as simple as it seems on the surface. This is not a zombie MMO. This is a game with zombies, but there's a lot more under the surface, and there are monsters that are a lot more terrifying than The Walking Dead.
I understand it's one of the first locations that you go to. What kind of gameplay can we expect?
Well, it's everything from going in there and helping out the people who live there. They're sort of locked in there and they need help. So you need to go in there and kill stuff, but also help them out when it comes to finding out what's the reason, why are they here, and investigating also the story behind Kingsmouth, and sort of revealing the big secret and why is this happening right here.
Well, there's a lot of emphasis on combat action in this game, obviously. You're fighting hordes of the living dead, you're fighting these creatures, these drow creatures, you're fighting these huge bosses, stuff you saw in the video, stuff that we're not yet showing everybody else. And like Martin said, there's a reason for fighting all these things too. So I mean, you can go in there to fight monsters, to get XP and to get cool items, to get cool loot and focus on that, or you can dig deeper and see like all the little stories behind it and the reason why this is happening. And Kingsmouth and Solomon Island is just one of the locations in the game, and while they're big, they're just, again, a small section of what the gameplay has to offer. And every location you go to offers different stories and different monsters, different ecologies, different reasons for playing. So it's really a big open world game where there's a lot of different gameplay that players can get engaged in.
The emphasis on powers seems to make it so that the player gets pretty powerful pretty early on. Is this a conscious choice, and how do you still give some sort of progression to your powers?
Yeah, well, it's always been important that the game is a lot of fun from the get-go.
You're not fighting rats with rusty daggers, you really are fighting like these huge undead bosses with flamethrower type powers and things like that.
Yeah. And what we want to get going from the beginning of the game is this, that you make a selection of these powers that you want to bring into battle, and making the right choices that fits your playstyle, and coming up with a cool build that works for you, but also might work with, if me and Ragnar want to go in and play together, that we come up with specs that work well with each other. So it's all about making this selection, going in there, finding the way you want to do. Maybe you get tired of playing that particular role. You can go out and change them around, and then go back in and have a different role. So it's all about
playing. Yeah, exactly. You play more, you get more choices available to use. Yeah, so you have some cool powers in the beginning. That's nothing compared to the powers you have later on. But also, it's sort of the selection you have, and the choices, and the variety of powers you have, and the types of ways you can play the game that really changes as you progress.
Can you give an examples of how you play yourselves, and how you've maybe a few different ways that you've played?
I'm usually the designated healer, with a few offensive spells. In the pink coat, that's me. We have this combo right now that I don't know how much we can talk about the specifics power now. I don't know.
No, but yeah. So I mean, you're definitely much more sort of a measured player. I'm usually the guy who just runs in there with powers and then pulls all the monsters and then runs screaming the other way like heal me, heal me, heal me. That's how I play.
At you and saying stop pulling everything. And I need to clean up the mess and resurrect him.
I think we're out of time.
Yeah, sorry about
the new group is here. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.